Deep in the heart of the Arabian desert, where the wind is the only voice and endless dunes stretch far beyond the horizon, a war once raged. A war not recorded in the scrolls of historians, but carved into the very memory of the tribes, told by elders beside crackling fires on cold desert nights. This is the story of the War of the Red Sands, a conflict that began over a single drop of water and ended in an ocean of blood. In those ancient and forgiving times, the desert tribes clung to life around the few oases scattered across the sands. Water was more precious than gold, more powerful than any king. To control the wells was to control life itself. The Ghassan tribe were masters of a great oasis known as the Emerald Oasis, a paradise of lush palms and sweet, clear water, shimmering like a jewel in the midst of the burning sands. But to the south lived the Whale tribe, a fierce and proud people, whose lands were cracking and dying. With envy burning in their hearts, they gazed northward at the Emerald Oasis, watching their own wells turn to dust. Then came the year of the great drought. The sky offered no rain, the earth offered no life. The elders of the Whale tribe gathered around a fire that barely flickered, their faces etched with despair. Their leader, Rama ibn Fad, an old man with eyes as sharp as steel and a will just as strong, stood, and his voice thundered across the silence. "We will not die of thirst while water flows where it does not belong. Tomorrow we shall take it, or we will drown in our own blood trying." The men rose as one, their voices a single roar. "The water is ours, or death will drink with us." And from that solemn veil, the first spark of war was lit. As dawn broke, painting the sky in hues of orange and gold, the warriors of the Whale tribe rode out. Hundreds of horses, their coats gleaming in the rising sun, charged across the plains, their spears flashing like blades of pure light. A great cloud of dust billowed toward the horizon, the drums of war shook the very air, and the desert trembled beneath the thunder of their hooves. The Ghassan tribe soon learned of the coming storm. Their chief, Numan ibn Shihab, a wise and just leader, called his warriors together. His voice was calm but firm. "We dug our wells with our sweat and have guarded them with our blood for generations. If they want our water, let them come and pay the price." Then, from the ranks of his warriors, a man stepped forward. He moved like a shadow of fire, tall, fearless, with eyes as sharp as a hawk's. This was Sam al-Ghassan, the undefeated champion whose name mothers sang to their sons to inspire courage. He spoke calmly, his voice cutting through the tension. "As long as I draw breath, no enemy shall touch a single drop of our water." And so, beneath a towering dune of crimson sand, the two tribes met. There, under the unforgiving sun, destiny waited. The cries of war shattered the desert silence. Swords clashed like thunder, spears splintered against shields, and the screams of men and horses filled the air. The battlefield became a swirling storm of dust, steel, and death. Sam al-Ghassan fought like a tempest unleashed, wherever his horse charged. Men fell like wheat before a scythe. He was a force of nature, a whirlwind of destruction. Then, through the chaotic haze, he saw him, the old chief, Rama ibn Fad, still standing, his blade blazing in the sunlight, fighting with the ferocity of a young man. The two leaders locked eyes across the battlefield and charged. Meeting in the center of the roaring winds, Sam shouted, his voice hoarse, "Turn back. Men of Whale, you chase water, but you will find only graves." Rama, his face a mask of grim determination, answered with a voice like fire, "He who cannot drink water, will drink death." And with those words, the two legends clashed, a collision of thunder and flame, as the sun began to sink. It bled across the sky, casting the desert in a deep, haunting red. Bodies lay strewn across the dunes, and the wind, now a sorrowful mourner, wailed through the sudden, chilling quiet. The few survivors, from both tribes, sat in stunned silence, their swords buried in the sand beside them, their eyes gazing into nothingness, unsure if any soul still lived. The old chief Rama had been struck by a stray arrow. He fell to his knees, his strength failing. He raised his eyes one last time to the heavens and whispered a final prayer. His voice barely carried on the wind, "If water costs this much blood, then let my blood be the last ever spilled for it." And with that, he collapsed, as the wind gently covered his face with sand. Sam al-Ghassan saw him fall. In that moment, the fire in his own heart was extinguished. He dropped his blood-stained sword and let out a cry that echoed across the silent battlefield, a cry not of victory, but of profound loss. "Stop," he bellowed to both tribes. "The man who died here has quenched our thirst," and for the first time since dawn, the desert was completely, utterly silent. That night, a storm unlike any the tribes had ever seen swept across the dunes. Darkness swallowed the horizon, and the sand raged like a furious sea, burying every corpse, every broken weapon, every single trace of the war. By dawn, all that remained was a vast, empty desert of red sand, soaked in a profound silence. The elders say the wind howled that night, calling the names of the dead. And even today, travelers who pass that place at midnight claim to hear the faint, ghostly echo of hooves, and a whisper on the wind that says, "Never spill blood for water, for in the end, the earth drinks us all." Years passed. The tribes slowly forgot the names of the fallen, but they never forgot the lesson. The Gassan tribe opened their wells to all strangers, vowing never again to deny water to the thirsty. The Whale tribe, in turn, built a simple stone monument on the edge of the desert. Carved into it were the words, "Here, thirst was buried and wisdom was born." From that day forward, a new saying spread among the people of the desert: "The wise man drinks half the water, and leaves the other half for his brother." Wars often begin with words, but they never truly end. Every drop of blood spilt calls out to the next generation, its memory whispering through the timeless sands. Thus ended the War of the Red Sands, a war that began for a drink of water, and taught the desert that blood can never, ever quench thirst. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales from history and legend. Until next time, stay curious.